This video is not an accusation. It is not a prediction. And it is not a conspiracy theory. It is a warning about patterns, about how power behaves when restraint is treated as weakness, and how language shapes what people are eventually willing to accept. History rarely announces itself clearly, it leaves signals. The question is not, is genocide being planned? The question is, are the conditions that make mass violence possible being normalized again? Large-scale violence does not begin with weapons, it begins with language. History shows a consistent sequence. First, a group is framed as a problem, then as a threat, then as contamination. Finally, as something that must be removed. When leaders speak of people as poison, as something that destroys from within, they are not arguing policy. They are shifting moral boundaries. This does not prove intent, but it lowers safeguards. One of the most dangerous political developments is not extremism itself. It is its normalization. When mass deportation is discussed casually, when entire regions are described as unrecognizable, when global institutions are framed as obsolete obstacles rather than imperfect safeguards, these ideas are no longer fringe. They are discussed on major platforms by major figures without consequence. Again, this does not prove a plan, but it creates permission structures. What once sounded unthinkable begins to sound practical. What once required justification begins to feel obvious. History also shows that moments of global uncertainty are when norms are tested. Ambiguous threats, sudden escalations followed by reversals, pressure applied, then withdrawn. These are not random. They test reactions. They measure resistance. They reveal which alliances bend and which break. Uncertainty itself becomes a tool. And when uncertainty becomes policy, escalation becomes easier than restraint. This is not about one country. It is not about one leader. It is not about one election. It is about the erosion of international norms that were built precisely because the last century showed us where unchecked power leads. When multilateral institutions are dismissed rather than reformed, when might is openly framed as legitimacy, when human rights are treated as negotiable, history does not repeat, but it rhymes. Let me be clear. This video is not claiming an inevitable genocide. It is not calling for panic. It is not asking for blind belief. It is asking for vigilance. The danger is not inevitability. The danger is complacency. Every generation believes it would recognize the warning signs in time. And almost every generation is wrong, not because the signs weren't there, but because they were dismissed as exaggeration. Alarm is uncomfortable. Silence is convenient. The purpose of this video is simple: to document, to question, and to remember that history punishes indifference far more reliably than it punishes overcaution. Pay attention, ask harder questions, and do not assume that what seems impossible today will remain so tomorrow.